Have you ever experienced a bushfire before?
Yes, I have. Back in 2019, when the fires were raging right across Australia, I was working in Byron in my office, and there was a huge fire around Ewingstown. I didn't understand what was happening at the time because the smoke was so thick and pouring down the main street where my office was located. So I actually thought it was a fire in town and a building was on fire or something like that. So I ignored it actually at first, waiting for the fire engine to rock up, and then we heard word that it was the bush burning. My first thought was to get home to my kids, but to do so I actually had to drive out of town, and I drove through the bushland between Byron and Lennox to then go up the hill. But the fire had also ignited on that side of town, so it was really scary. I drove with flames on either side of the road, just thinking about getting home to my kids. And if I had left it any longer, I might not have been able to get home. But yeah, it was really scary.
Did the bushfire affect you in any way?
I guess it's a realization of how fast fire can travel when you see fire licking across the canopy of eucalypts. It can travel faster than you can drive, that's for sure, and faster than you can run. I also was really affected by seeing how much wildlife was decimated in the fires, particularly in the stretch going down to Yamba. In that year, there were so many koalas in that koala corridor that were killed. I really felt sad about that, even though we know that bushfire is a part of the Australian natural cycle. I felt really affected by the death en masse of wildlife and people's homes, of course. How many people lost their homes was just totally devastating.
Do you change your daily habits when preparing for a bushfire-prone summer?
Well, as a matter of fact, out on the bush block that Andy and I own, we just decided to pay for somebody to slash all of the grass in between our block and the road because it was getting quite long. At the moment it's still green, but we know with a few really hot summer days it could turn crispy, and it's just somebody driving past throwing a cigarette butt out their window that can ignite a huge fire and burn down our fence and get into our buildings. So we're definitely keeping on top of our grass control, and we're also trying to plant, because we're planting a lot of trees out there. We're trying to plant things along our boundary that are juicy succulents like gingers, and also hardy Australian plants like lamandra grass, just as a bit of a natural living barrier, and then of course native trees that'll regenerate if they do burn, like grevilleas and wattles. I think you need to work with the land in order to prepare, and just be tidy with keeping gutters clean and keeping grass cut.